In this lesson, you will learn how you can link the Jira commit process to ALM Octane. Usually, the developers are using Jira as a team tool to work on different tasks they have to deliver in different sprints and within a release. So what happens is they work on the Jira items like defect, like user stories or task, and they use the connection from Jira to the IDE using the Jira plugin and commit the code against the Jira entity ID. Yeah, so Jira issue ID is used to commit the code in the pattern so they are able to identify for what the purpose of the code was, which defect or which bug I wanted to fix. And this will be reflected then in the source code repository. And once it is built through a CI server, they can also see that the code which was committed is attached to a bug in Jira with a specific ID. So now we will set up ALM Octane on top of it, and ALM Octane is going to synchronize the data between Jira and Octane, means all the features and epics which are in Octane, and as well as user stories will be synchronized to Jira, and also the defect which are created are synchronized bidirectionally. And we would like to link the code changes which the developers are committing also to the synchronized items in ALM Octane. So let's see how this is done. When you set up a synchronization between Jira and ALM Octane, you make sure that the ID of the other side is referred in the current system. For example, we have the defects which are synced from Jira. They have here a Jira key field which was created as a custom field in ALM Octane workspace, and this is referring to the Jira IDs. So this is very important also without code commit to refer back to the entity which was created in the other system. Let's go to Jira to see, for instance, this defect. So we have here the defect. After upload, the default avatar is set. And we have the same here in Jira. After upload, the default avatar is set. So basically, this is being used by the developer to write the code and fix the defects. And the information is reflected here in ALM Octane. So now let's see example how a developer will fix a defect in Jira and commit a code, and Octane is still able to identify, even the code is not committed against the Octane ID, but the Jira ID, we are still able to identify what was the code commit and link it to the correct entity in ALM Octane. So let's see how this is delivered. We go into the IDE. In the IDE, usually Micro Focus provides plugin for ALM Octane. So if developers are directly integrated in ALM Octane, this is then no-brainer. They can use this plugin and copy the commit message and work against the code directly using this plugin. But sometimes it happens that the developers are using the Jira IDE plugin and commit the code changes against the issue ID of Jira. So let's remove this for now, and we go to the Jira plugin. And what I will do is I will commit a code against demo 122, error message 404 received by REST. This defect is already in ALM Octane. Let's see it quickly. So here I can see this is the defect which is in Octane, and I would like to commit the code in Jira against this ID. So let's go here, and let's say I change it just for the sake of changing anything. I just change it here. So let's say we call it Jira commit process, and here is the demo. I will demo REST bug fixed, just like that. Just a simple, any change which is be applied, I've done here. And now I would like to commit against the correct ID. So you can see I have a pattern here which I'm using. So as a Jira developer, I say in the commit message, this is what I've been working on. Yeah, and what I have done is it is fixed here. Yeah? So I'm telling here actively this bug was fixed, and I can also further explain if I want. So now let's commit and push it to the source code repository. I will push it, push. So we will receive a success message. So this commit is pushed and it is now in the source code repository. So as a next step, the CI will build the code and application. And once this is done, it will push back the changes also to ALM Octane. Let's see. I will go now to the pipelines and hit quickly a CI run. So let's hit it directly from here. And there will be some test cases which will be executed, but let's see what's happening on the testing environment. So here. So now the CI will trigger and collect all the code commits which were in the source code repository and put them together and build the new application. And after the application is built, it will run a few test cases which are just as an example in this build to refer back that something is happening. We will see that now a UFT test case will start and will be executed. The typical demo application with the flight reservation will run and perform the test execution. Something is happening. So the application is started. It is executing the code now just in order to have it done, to select the flight, and then that's it. After this is done, it will close it. So we can see the pipeline is still running, but very soon it will come to the end. So I will just already focus here. I can see the pipeline is more or less completed, and it will update once it is completed, and we will see if there was a linkage to the Octane entity. I can see now that the pipeline is completed. I can see also here that there was a code commit, and you can see that this was a commit message, and Octane was able to identify what the defect in ALM Octane was. Even I have committed the code against the Jira ID, we were able to identify. So in the Octane defect, I can see here now the code change, and let's quickly take a look on the diff to see if this is really ours. Yeah, this is exactly what we have done. So this is what we have changed in the code. So from this side we are good. And now let's see what is the configuration to achieve exactly this. So you can leave your Jira developers working in Jira and just refer to the correct IDs and configuration to get also the code changes they are doing in Jira on the Jira IDs reflected in the ALM Octane. To achieve this, let's go to Settings, Spaces. In the commit pattern, what I've done, I added a new commit pattern, which is here. And I said that the pattern field will be the Jira key. The entity type is defect. And this is my commit pattern, what I've written. Yeah? So it's exactly representing the way the Jira developers are working. Define the pattern as you need it. So you can really create here a pattern and make it work for you with the same approach. So you can say instead of bugs, you say this is a task, and then you have task, let's say here S. You can then say it is star, and now you can refer back to the project key, which could be any. So in my case, it was just like that. And then I had a minus, and again, like this, the plus. So this was my commit pattern. And after I edited, I was able to validate the pattern. For instance, I could say here bug, then demo minus whatever, just a number. And from here, fixed the API call or whatever. Yeah? And then you can validate it, and Octane will make sure that this pattern is applied, and you can see if there is something found or not. Yeah? So that was it, how to configure the Jira link process and make sure that the commit patterns and commit which are performed on the Jira side are linked to ALM Octane. As a precondition, you need to make sure that you are using MF Connect or any other synchronization tool to sync between ALM Octane and Jira, and you need to refer to this field, Jira key, in order to achieve the code commit link.